Oh shit. Ah, damn. Thanks, Lee. Damn it. Well, I swear with this mic, I swear, man. All right, so what I was saying was I'm looking at the gamma levels for the ES. You know, funny thing about a silent movie. I was actually casted in a silent movie in high school. Um, this production company came to our school and they asked for volunteers to stay after school if you wanted to be in the silent film, and obviously I volunteered. And of course, I started flirting with the what was she? One of the actresses. But she was way older than me. She was like, "Man, if you was my age, I would date you." But obviously, I think she was like in college. I was still in high school. And anyway, yeah, I was casting in a silent film, and it was about a kid that was getting bullied at school, and uh, I guess he dropped his books. What we did was we had to look up at him, and they continued doing what we was doing to, I guess, signal that he's invisible and no one cares about him. And I was like, I mean, thinking about it now, it's like, huh, that's very interesting. But at the time, I was like, okay, I'm just glad that I was in a little silent film. But yeah. You know, honestly, now that I think about it, that could have been my canon event. I've already shared with you guys. This was probably like the last thing streaming. It was probably the last thing that I thought that I would ever do in my life. But here we are. All right, so so we're getting a bounce. Oh shit. Let's see if let's see what this thing does. Let's see. All right, I'm gonna kind of get into this right here. I'm gonna kind of get into that. 69. And I'll scale into it at 69. Probably go down a little bit less. Right there at that 50%. Because this is the orb for the ES. It officially formed. It bounces as soon as it creates the low. I think that we can probably see the rejection at the 50%, maybe. We'll see. We'll see. But I can actually tell you guys, or I can show you guys the levels on the Nasdaq. So on the Nasdaq, it appears that obviously we're in a negative environment on the Nasdaq as well. It doesn't necessarily have too many levels. It's actually it's at 2945 right now. Let's see if it'll try to defend that at 2945. That's like the biggest level right now. The expected move though. I guess keep your eyes out for 920. 920 could be the level where the market kind of plays around with and bounces, but with the Nasdaq, I mean these types of tools, it's so all over the place. These types of tools can be very it can help, but the Nasdaq will always be the Nasdaq. All right, so we're in short. We're short the 50% of the orb. We'll see if we can get at least a retest of this low. See if we can get that at least. Or yeah, I think we can get that. I gotta stop thinking of the ES as the Nasdaq. It's trending down. It's a retest of that area. We're getting the move down. I just don't like this candle right there. I mean, we got this big bearish engulfing candle to the downside here on the ES. I think we should at least get a retest of that low, or at least 10 points, what I'm really looking for. I'm pretty sure we can get a retest of that low right there. I'm pretty sure. All right, I guess we got to just sit back and watch it. Hey, yo, what's up, Investor Z? What's up? Yeah, you start doing that. But shit, that position that we was in last night, isn't it crazy that the market made it feel that it was going to go higher? And if you trade what you saw, or if you trade what you felt and not what you saw, you would have missed that big move down on both the Nasdaq and the ES. That was a really big move down. I'm glad I didn't readjust I didn't readjust my stop, because I thought about it. And I told you guys that the market went exactly where I was going to actually readjust my stop to. And I would have got stopped out, and I would have missed that big move last night. Got back some of my money from last night, because I showed you guys I had took 3 losses in a row last night because the price action was so deceptive, and that big move down, I got a big portion of that back. All right, baby. Let's keep rolling. Let's keep going down, baby. Smith may start up later. Maybe. He was sending me text messages at 1 o'clock in the morning, so I know he was up all night. Well, I guess technically all morning. Nice. All right, we got 5 more minutes until the 9 o'clock algo here. 5 more minutes until the 9 o'clock algo. 82.75. Okay. Shit, honestly, I don't know. I don't know. Mm. This could be a replay of what happened last night. Last night, it looked like the market was going to push higher, and it played around at my entry for a good 30 to 40 minutes until it finally broke down. I wonder if we're going to see the same thing right here. Actually, I did look at it this morning. It does have a contract. It just doesn't have any liquidity. The NQ doesn't have it has a contract. It doesn't have the liquidity though. You can see it's pretty broken. The Nano ES is way worse. I mean, for obvious reasons. So I guess they don't have from what I looked at, they don't have the commissions out yet either. So they launched this product, and for whatever reason, it's like they weren't prepared to launch this product. They just launched it, and it's the first day, so the charts are looking really ugly right now. But all right, probably get stopped out of this one. Don't stop me out, ES. Don't stop me out. You said when you looked earlier, it wasn't a contract yet? Yeah, you know I looked, Alfred. I was excited. I was like, man, I'm ready to trade my own money, man. I'm ready. Yeah. I think it's coming. I think it's coming. I guess we just have to see what happens, because I mean the bears are selling this. The book is pretty balanced right now between buyers and sellers, from what I see. It can go either way, honestly. You can go either way. I guess this level right here will be the deciding factor. Right now, the bulls are having it's looking like both the bears and the bulls are having a hard time defending the 50% of the orb. So I guess whoever breaks out first, if it breaks down first, then we can probably get a retest of those lows. If it breaks higher, then we can possibly get a retest of that high. But obviously, y'all guys know which side I want it to break down to. Well, break down. I'm looking for that breakdown. Potentially a retest of that low, maybe. That's what I'm looking for. Excuse me. Yeah, I'll just do that instead. And it's gonna let me do it too. All right, well, I got stopped out of that, unfortunately. All right, this sucks. $76. 75, 20. Okay. Huh? 2 is fine. Nice. Nice. Interesting. 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 So yeah, I wonder what that was about. I wonder what that was about. I wonder what that was about. Nice one, he is. Nice. All right. $82.75. I really do with that. I really do. Mm. You know, it's interesting how this thing found me. Like, I mean, it really is interesting how it found my stop. That is insane. It's interesting how it found my stop. It went up just enough just to stop me out. It hasn't finished the rotation yet. It didn't. We haven't seen a retest of that low, but it would have been nice if I was still in this position. You know, freaking ES. How was it? 66, 69. Mm. I mean, honestly, I don't know what I could have done differently in that situation. I felt like I executed really well. I got in at a reasonable level. It's just that the market just came back and stopped me out for whatever reason. Okay. Yeah, I don't think I could have done anything better in that position. It's just that the ES just came back and stopped me out. So, um, there's nothing more I could have done there. Are we seeing the same choppy price action with the Nasdaq? I mean, we're getting definitely, and they're both chopping, but obviously you're going to see more trading opportunity on the Nasdaq than the ES. Hmm. $56.75. Yeah, that's a. Oh yeah. That's big. That's wide. 59, 56. I got in. Mm. Mm. Always do this shit whenever you're off me. All right. It's like every time my kids, every time their mom leaves, they always want to start doing stuff. An annoyed daddy. All right. Boy, this New York session price action is just insane. My God, dude. Why is it moving so damn slow? Why is it moving so slow? This is the AM session. It has the most volume out of all the sessions. We have 1.3 million, 1.4 trading in the Nasdaq right now. We have 360,000 contracts trading in the ES, and we're trading as if the market doesn't know where it wants to go. Yeah. But can it speed it up? Can it speed up? That would be nice. Finally, we're getting some freaking movement, man. Getting some movement, but still got a ways to go. Finally, some movement. Now, I do feel conflicted about this. I'm not gonna lie. I do feel conflicted. If I was still in my original position, I was still in my original position. got in at around like 69, I think. Probably would have gotten a profit target right here, maybe. Maybe my stop would have came down. Yeah. I mean, I am trading necessarily against the momentum, but price traded into this put wall, and I traded at the put wall, and we're getting the bounce. I don't think we get a reversal, but um, I just took a bet at that put wall, and we got the bounce. So that's why this is the main reason why, at least for right now, I'm sticking to the NQ, or not the NQ, the ES, because these tools, they work really well with the ES. I mean, it's working well with the Nasdaq as well. That line is a put wall. This is a put wall 3, and we're seeing the bounce at the put wall right here on the Nasdaq. So I mean, but I don't think this is a reversal or anything. I think we can at least move 10 points, or we can at least come back up here into this imbalance for another drop back to the downside. So we'll see. Another drop to the downside. Okay. And I guess that wasn't necessarily a surprise, but seriously? I might have to get out of this. I might have to get out of this. Because that was probably the move right there. The bounce right there. All right. All right. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. I guess we're about to find out. All right, so we got 1 more minute until the initial balance officially forms. We'll see. We'll see. Yeah, later. I mean, honestly, at this point, it don't even matter. Doesn't matter. Mm. I might actually have to close out this position, honestly. I might have to close it out. Because looking at the structure, I mean, it could push higher here. We could see the move higher. But the way that this is looking, it's making lower lows. It's making lower highs. And it can definitely push down. So I'm not going to close out of it outright, but what I will do though is just significantly reduce my risk on this. But I'm not going to close out of it though. Probably below that low. It's still far enough away from my entry, but I mean, if it does go underneath that low, I mean, it could go down here. So I'll just do that, but I'm not going to close the position out because we could see the move up, but I do expect the move down. Maybe we can get the VWAP. Maybe we can see a move to VWAP and a rejection right back down. Or at least that's what I'm hoping that it does. All right, well, I'm happy. Let's get that move to VWAP. So right now the bulls are dominating the book. So we could see at least that VWAP touch. Okay, almost a TP. Keep moving, baby. Let's hope that the bears don't get too crazy at that 200 EMA. Let's focus on this, bears. Short there, or short at that short limit, but what happened? What happened? Shit, because New York isn't any better, Alfred. So what happened during Asia? I mean, my only blocker with Asia is that I don't want to be stuck in a position that I might feel obligated to sit with, and it doesn't do anything until like 2 o'clock in the morning. But I've gotten to the point to where I can just go to sleep and just say, you know, whatever happens, happens. I mean, it doesn't matter if I'm watching it or not. I mean, either it's going to hit my target or not, you know, or it's going to stop me out. So I'm okay with that now. I go to bed now. Now you oversized? Shit. You don't do that during New York? Shit, New York is trading just as bad now. I mean, we sat in this range for, I mean, the market's been open for an hour, and well, shit, at least not on the Nasdaq. We're not really getting the separation from the Nasdaq. We're not really seeing it in the ES either, but well, I take that back. Never mind. We did break out of that range. Never mind. I take that back. It was the ES. I thought I was looking at the Nasdaq. It's the Nasdaq that hasn't necessarily, or the ES that hasn't really broken out of this this area. The Nasdaq has this consolidation. We're seeing the break. We'll see. All right, stops are in place. Stops are in place. Do I think this is a real move higher? No. This is definitely a move to rebalance or fill more of these short orders before the move down for sure. I do not believe that the market reversed at those lows or is in the process of reversing. Yeah, let's look at the opening range again. Where are we at? Shit, now, like I said, now I kind of feel torn about that earlier position, that short from earlier. Huh. If I didn't take if my stops didn't come down, I would have got stopped out for a loss. Would have got stopped out for a loss there after being in profit. Kind of like what Alfred said, though. I mean, in these types of environments, sizing down is what's going to keep you in the game. All right, baby, let's hit that profit target right there. There we go. Profit target filled. Let's go. Let's go. All right. We'll see if that short target to go back down will get filled and you see the move. All right. I mean, how much more? Because, I mean, pretty soon it's not going to matter. 78. I mean, really, they have like one chance on it, honestly. Yeah, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens here. I'm gonna go short at 78.50. I think I mean, we did see the rejection at VWAP, but originally my order was right above VWAP at 75.75. Then I thought about it. Hopefully I'm not going to regret that decision. But then I saw this range right there. This was the range. That was the manipulation. That was the drop. So I think that we could potentially see the market trade back into this area before we see a drop back to this low. So we'll see. We'll see if we'll see. We'll see. The initial balance has formed. We are at the 50% of the initial balance on the Nasdaq, but we know better than to short the 50% without confirmation. The 50%, you definitely need confirmation. I would only short or go long at the highs and lows or the extensions outside the range for a false breakout back into the range. But that 50%, you kind of need confirmation because it's equilibrium. You're going to see the bulls and the bears battle it out, and you kind of have to trade that retest. You don't want to trade the first test of it because you'll become liquidity real quick at the 50%. Mm. Okay. All right. You know, that would just suck, you know? That would suck. I guess we're back to the slow movement. Man, these markets are just so insufferable. They're so insufferable, man. This slow moving, this deceptive price action. Nice. It's hard to believe you only had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You've only had 6 15-minute candles this entire session. That's insane. Well, I guess that doesn't make sense. Never mind. That doesn't make sense. But the market hasn't moved anywhere. It's still in this small range. Hold on. I thought that mom was just. Probably like the 3-minute or something. Mm. I mean, technically, yeah, that's the move right there, but I guess also technically, yeah. Mm. You know, when it moves slow like this, it makes me I begin to doubt some of my trades when it begins to move slow like this. I think that's everybody though. But like I said, this week it's trade what I see, not what I think. Or it's not necessarily what I think, is what I feel. When I start to feel that something's wrong, that's usually when I'm in trouble. When I set levels at where I see, then I usually get I get better trades. I do see that the market is holding this imbalance area, but I don't want to trade here. I don't feel that the bears have it in them to get to where I need right now. Or it's going to probably take them a couple of hours. Wow. All right, so we got a 15-minute candle. We got a doji. We all know that after a doji, we have expansion. So we'll see if it'll expand to the up or downside here. We'll see. I don't know. I don't know like stuff like why stuff like that happens. You know. I don't know why you put your limit order in a general area and it misses you. I don't know. But mm, I don't know. Mm, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know why stuff like that happens. I don't know. Okay. Well, looks like the short at VWAP worked. So it missed me by a tick. So I figured that it was going to go up higher into this range. But if I got filled, then I just would have got my first profit target filled right there. So I don't know why that happened. I don't know why. I don't know why the ES chose to stop me out this morning and then go down. And I don't know why the ES chose to miss my original limit order by a tick and then go down. I don't know. I don't know. And I usually go 2 or 3 ticks off of levels. So that's why sometimes I feel attacked, because it's like, well, damn, I'm not even trading at the actual level. I'm trading ahead of certain levels. And for whatever reason, the ES still, or the Nasdaq still misses me. Don't understand that. Don't know why that consistently happens. Maybe once or twice, maybe once in a blue moon, but it's so consistent. It's frustrating. So yeah, I would have just gotten a profit target right there. That sucks. I mean, it's kind of hard to not see the market not take these lows out. It's kind of hard not to see that. I mean, you got all this liquidity right there underneath this trend line. So I mean, if it breaks that trend line, we're definitely going to see a retest of that low, maybe even go further. But like I said, 645 might be the low. They might come in and defend 645. So I might actually set a limit down here. Actually, I kind of want to see how the market reacts at this level first, but I might just set a limit down here. Okay. Well, there goes our expansion candle. We got the expansion to the downside after we saw this 15-minute doji candle right there. So now we're getting the expansion. That is tough to see though. That's tough to see. I should be in this. That is tough, man. That's so tough. That is so tough. That is tough. Mm, that's tough. Mm, mm, okay. Mm, mm. Mm. I mean, I guess you can do the same thing. I guess I'll hear it. Speaking of, oh crap. Ah, damn. Damn it. So this whole time I had the tab muted. Uh, mm. I'll take that bet. I'll take that. But it's not going to be on an account that I care about, though. I don't know. I have 99. I'm going to take a bet that the market does not break below that put wall at 645. I don't believe that the market will break past that low. And then we also have the expected move. The expected move, the low, is around 50. So I think we see a bounce. Probably we go to 45. And we'll see. All right, so I don't need to look because I got the chart. So all I have to do now, just look at the table on this. That's all I have to look at because nah, that's the expansion. Man, it's highly likely. I mean, unless it double bottom at that low, it's highly likely that it'll keep going down. It's highly unlikely that it breaks back above that 50%. We already have the bulls failing to push higher. The market sold into their stops. Now the market is trying to rotate down to these lows. So I don't believe that the market bounces here. And it's highly unlikely that it would. But yeah, that was the correct way to do it. So next time. Yeah, I guess we'll see. Yeah, I'm gonna take some of that. $93. You gotta take it anyway. Mm. Pretty sure. Trash. Ooh. So I don't know when so Donald Trump released this earlier today. It reads, Canada has been ripping off the United States of America for years. Their ridiculously high tariffs on our farmers and farm products have made life impossible for these great American patriots and has long created a $60 billion deficit between our two countries. Not sustainable and not anymore. On January 1st, 2027, tariffs on all cars, trucks, both large and small, automotive parts, and steel will be increased to 50%. Built in the United States, and there are zero tariffs. Canada will be treated like a state no longer, on trade and any other way. Also, they are among the worst nations in the world to deal with. They feel entitled, and yet we don't need Canada, they need us. They do 95% of their business with the US, with us, the exact opposite. Interesting. Interesting. Oh, really? Man, I feel only have 10 minutes. Like I said, I feel kind of cheated in this, man. I should be in this. I can't believe that I missed my original short entry by a tick.
At 11:30 a.m. Eastern Time, we have the US 6-month high yield 3.78%, bid to cover 2.97. US 3-month high yield 3.715%, bid to cover 2.86.
Well, we'll see. I do think we'll get a false breakdown. Like I said, the expected move for today is at those lows at 45, maybe possibly 40. Yeah, so the expected move, the lows is at 640. That's the lows, but we have a big gamma level at 45, and I do believe that the market is going to make an attempt to protect that level. It was a big put wall, and the last time I seen something like this, they pinned it exactly where that gamma wall was.
Stocks of crude oil in the US Strategic Petroleum Reserve fell by about 3.7 million barrels to 289.7 million barrels last week, the lowest since 1982.
Yeah, that came in kind of hot, at least on my end. Yeah, so I don't think that we see price trade underneath 740, because then the market makers are going to have to step in and they're going to want to protect that area. So I'm going to trust this level. I'm going to set a limit down there. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. But as I'm becoming more accustomed to this tool and understanding how the option market dictates the move in the underlying stock and in futures, it would behoove you to actually begin to learn how this happens and why it happens. This is why Mohammed can come in and say that he shorted certain areas, and it could be the top and bottom, is because I guess he's built a custom software that shows where the market makers are hedging and areas where it's unlikely that they'll allow price to trade through, because they will no longer be delta neutral, and their business is to stay as delta neutral as possible. So once price gets to certain levels, they have to respond. It doesn't necessarily mean that we'll get perfect entries, kind of like this one right here. I took this entry this morning and we got that move all the way up the VWAP, because I saw that, I mean, this is the orb low, and it just felt like this was a great area to at least try for a move back up. And in this situation, it worked because this was a put wall. I guess you guys can probably barely see that though, but it doesn't let me make them any bigger, I don't think. Yeah, it doesn't let me make them any bigger.
Japan to tap up AI to speed up material development tenfold.
Or maybe they do. Let me see. Yeah, I don't think they do. Can't really do anything with it. But and it doesn't let me change or manipulate the colors either, which kind of sucks. But you can see that again, they protected this put wall 3 at 60. They protected it again. Wow, look at that. Wow, they really protected that level. Look at that.
We have posted an Nikkei article on the feed for those interested. So a reminder, 5 minutes time, the US 6-month and 3-month bid auctioned. 6 months prior high yield 3.78%, prior bid to cover 2.97. 3-month prior high yield 3.715%, prior bid to cover 2.86.
Listen here, look at that. How they protected this level. Same thing can probably be said on the Nasdaq. Look at the put wall that they protected at put wall 2 here on the Nasdaq. Look at that. So the 29.45 put wall, you can kind of see that the market broke past that, and it broke and it retested and it landed right there on that put wall and it pushed right back up. Wow. This almost feels like it's cheating. It feels like it's cheating, but this entire weekend, I was reading or I was listening to this book, this Audible, and I think it's called Options and Volatility. And yeah, volatility person. Yeah, this book right here. Yeah, this book right here. I was listening to this all week, half through with it, and it was kind of explaining
So Iran's
why,
main news quoting
this type of stuff
Iran's
happens. So
Mokba that says that
if
Iran's
you have
response will be
Audible
more
and you have the
decisive than
time,
ever.
I would highly recommend listening to Option Volatility and Pricing at this Audible right here. I don't think reading it would be a great use of your time though, but so I have this tool for 3 months. I'm gonna give it I bought it for 3 months and it was only $160 for 3 months, which is a great deal, in my opinion. I think I believe I'll keep this platform. Because so far it's so far so good. $670. We could see a drop at 670. We could, but at this point, I don't trust it. Because we didn't necessarily rotate to the low. We had a fair rotation to the lows. We didn't get a re-get of the low to the low. Now it's gonna try to make its way to the highs.
Surely expecting US 3-month and 6-month bill auctions.
God dang! What the hell just happened?
Seeing some weakness in the US dollar, a bit of strength in the S&P 500 here. Not seeing any catalyst for the move, but we'll keep looking.
Dang, dude. Dang. What the hell was
Mexican
just that?
President Sheinbaum says she hopes to reach a trade agreement with the US, as President Trump said.
Damn, dude.
The US eyes 7.5% China overcapacity tariffs before Xi-Trump talks. So again, the US says tariff announcement not via the White House is speculation. So again, the US eyes 7.5% China overcapacity tariffs before Xi-Trump talks.
Okay. Damn, what a move. Damn, I should have just...
See some weakness in WTI crude here as well. Further strength in the S&P 500, weakness in the US dollar.
Damn, what a candle. What a candle. Okay. All right, guys. That's gonna be it for me this session. But I do appreciate everybody that joined me this morning. We'll definitely come back later on tonight, and we'll definitely look for more opportunities to earn some more money. And with that said, peace out, everybody, and keep on jabbing.